Hey race fans, this is a replay, but to be able to watch live and hear from the drivers and see the pre and post race reaction, download and subscribe to the Trans Am app. Available on both Android and iOS, this is the only place to watch the 2021 season of Trans Am live, with over 10 hours of coverage each and every weekend. Live timing, results and news, as well as pre and post interviews, as our global live stream takes you to the heart of the action. To subscribe, download the Trans Am app or scan the QR code to be part of the fastest growing series in America. Subscriptions for the race weekend are just $9.99 and $59.99 for a full season. So come and join us for the 2021 season on the Trans Am app, the only way to see the races live and get your muscle car media.
I'm here at the grid, the Trans Am TA2 XGT SGT Watkins Glen International. I'm so excited, the second race. We had some drama yesterday. Ernie is starting up front, did not finish yesterday because he got the best time. Chris Dyson won yesterday's race because of an incident on track with Tommy Dreese, pushing him a 40-second penalty, meaning Guy Smith got second, Amy Ruman got third place. So a lot can happen in today's race. It should be super exciting. It's a little bit cloudy. The track is a lot cooler. We're going to see who got the setup right. I'm going to send it back to you, Jonathan.
Perfect stuff, Ben. Not a lot of time because the Trans Am boys are coming out very quickly. Great job by Ernie Francis Jr. and his team to get that car sorted. And because he got the fastest lap, that's how it works here in Trans Am. So you get pole position by virtue of the fastest lap set. And although he did not finish the race, he did set the fastest lap. Ken Thwaites, we just saw his Franklin Apparel ad running. Makes some great clothing, and that shop in Nashville, Tennessee. And Ken, a big part of putting that Nashville event on. So we thank Ken. Ken really enjoying being in TA for the first time this season, having won the XGT Championship. On board with Tommy Dreese.
About to give a start.
Great entertainment yesterday from Tommy.
Checks around the track, see what you lose me at.
And Tommy Dreese just talked to his team about where they lose each other in terms of radio on the track. So on the warm-up, they'll do a check. We don't have the radio to Tommy, but he'll be talking. We'll be listening. So the Breathless Racing team. What can Ernie Francis Jr., the 7-time champion on Trans Am at just 23 years of age. What will he do next year? He's got some great options for his future. Some talking about him going towards NASCAR. Others talking about maybe a single-seat future because he's also racing in FR, the Formula Regional Championship, to much success. And of course, he did the CBS Tony Stewart SRX Championship as well. And that kind of suited him really because they were very similar cars to these. Chris Dyson's got a great opportunity too. He's got Guy Smith in this blue and white number 2, usually pedaled by Al Masood, who has had a lot of business obligations of late, so hasn't had a chance to race this car, but Chris bringing in ex-teammates along the way. He brought in Andy Lally. But he and Guy Smith go a long way back in sports car racing here in the States. Guy Smith, of course, an IMSA champion and a Le Mans winner in his own right. And we're on board here with Chris Dyson. There's Guy Smith. And that was only his second Trans Am race yesterday. Really enjoyed it. And, of course, as you just heard from Ben there, picking up a podium, which wasn't really expected. Tommy Dreese going out and then Ernie Francis going out. It moved everybody up. This could be a really interesting race too. We've got the battle in XGT as well. Good to have Natalie Decker back in the throws, the girl from Wisconsin, who races part-time Xfinity. And she's in that Audi R8. And of course, it's great to have Adam Andretti in the three-dimensional services TA2 car. Adam, of course, known for his TA exploits, but jumped into TA2 when Doug Peterson got stuck at Lime Rock, or sorry, he couldn't get back in time for Lime Rock, and Adam got in the car, set it up nicely, did the business, and from there on in, Doug Peterson has had him as part of the team, and he has delivered brilliantly, almost winning in Nashville, following up Rafa Matos, and you could argue that Adam drafted in effectively to work with Rafa. Adrian Lostowski had an interesting race yesterday, got some damage to the back of his car in an incident where he spun around all on his own, but didn't damage the car too badly and was able to continue. Let's see what Ken Thwaites can do. There's Rafa. He's your championship leader and just extended that lead yesterday with another good run. Amy Ruman just ahead of him. Connor Mosak reading his press release last night, thanks to Mike Arning, just saying that Connor is confident that they've got a fast car and they can take the challenge on. And again, they'll take the shorter route out of the carousel and not take the boot in the warm-up lap, just to save a little time. And it gives them enough time to effectively get the tyres up to temperature. This is the normal NASCAR circuit, if you will. They don't take the boot. Big race for Ernie Francis Jr. He's been there or thereabouts, but because of his distractions this year with both single-seaters and SRX, he's had to start at the back. He just hasn't been there for qualifying. So, effectively, Ernie's been chasing it all year long. He's still third in the championship, but that clutch issue yesterday did not help because he could have done with a win. So he'll really want to turn this one into a win if he can. Chris Dyson was a little miffed yesterday with Tommy chasing him down during the yellow flag situation and not happy at all after the race, but hey, Tommy's going to go for it. Says he didn't see any yellow flags, but well, what the heck, he was racing. Really impressed with the way Rafa's come back to this three-dimensional services team. He won the championship for them in 2018, and he's odds on to do the same again here in 2021. It's been a good season for Rafa Matos. He's on top of his game for sure.
Yeah, he's really fast here. He's won here in the past. He looks really good. And, you know, the whole Chris Dyson-Tommy thing, I believe Tommy, I don't think he really saw it because Chris Dyson was right there, so he may have been looking into his mirrors. It was right in this section we're in right now. So a real technical section. You're not really looking at the corner workers. And with Dyson right there, you might be looking in your, you know, where you're driving and the angle. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. But he did. Video shows that he did pass under double yellow, so as per the rules, he's going to get penalized.
So we're starting to line up in order. 4 classes in all. TA will lead them, TA2 behind them, XGT and SGT, but here comes first class TA, the 850 fire-breathing brake horsepower cars of Trans Am. 33 years we've been coming here. Here we go again in 2021. TA field, Ruben at the back. Ernie Francis at the front. Green flag waves and away we go. Right behind them, TA2. Mosak on the right-hand side in TA2, but it's Ernie Francis Jr. with Chris Dyson behind, and Tommy Dreesy and Guy Smith side by side as we go on board with Tommy Dreesy up the hill. Where is Smith, I wonder? Well, he's had to slot in behind Dreesy. Got a good start in TA. Dreesy on fine form in 3rd place. Ruman in 5th, and Guy Smith in 4th place. Meanwhile, Mosak's got the start in TA2, ahead of Rafa.
Oh yeah, Connor Mosak has the line going in the interlude. So does Misha Goldberg. Connor Mosak and Misha.
Wow, on board with Adam Andretti, and he's just behind Merrill at the moment. No love lost between these two. Andretti look at this start to TA2. Wow. You can throw a blanket over him. And Andretti will try to get past Merrill as soon as he can and try and get on level terms with Rafa if he can.
You can really tell that they some of the teams haven't quite got the setups. They're really sliding around. The track temperature, I would say, is probably 20, 30 degrees different than it was yesterday. And if you're wondering why they came out in this order, it was based on fastest times yesterday. It wasn't based on finishing positions. That's why Ernie's up front. That's why Connor Mosak started second to the front. And that makes for some really interesting races with Connor.
Oh, look at Misha Goldberg, the Canadian. Goes very wide for BC Racing in the zero car. And Misha's on fire this weekend. He really loves the Glen. This is Rafa Matos' view. He's behind Misha Goldberg at the moment. Rafa biding his time for now. He knows it's a 100-mile race. And if they stay green, you've got to start thinking about time management. So for now, none of them will be going hell-bent for leather necessarily. There's Mike Skeen. First look at him.
Watch Thomas Merrill, too. Looks like Thomas Merrill was looking to duck out. Looks like Thomas's car might be a little bit faster than Skeen's in some area, but it also looks a little bit loose on the rear end.
Yeah, and it looks as though Andretti's just waiting for these two to get into a real battle, and then maybe he can bounce. Just wants to stay with them for now. But this is a really, really good start to our Trans Am feature race. Doubleheader here at the Glen. And Merrill bouncing over the curves on the all-new livery, bright yellow. We're used to seeing that grey and blue 81, but he swapped it up this weekend. Back with the Lefskoski, who's prepared the car. And the Hawk prepared car looking good. And he too flying. Oh, look at this. Side-by-side stuff. Merrill makes his move on Skeen. Has to go to the dirt for a second, but he's made it. Nicely done. Skeen comes back at him. And here comes Andretti. He wants to join the party, and I thought that might happen. That as soon as Merrill and Skeen got into it, Andretti would try to use that as an opportunity. Great onboards, great action, great coverage here of Trans Am at its finest in 2021.
Yeah, that was so cool to see. Mike Skeen gave Thomas Merrill the room that he needed, so neither one of them would hit, which is normal for Mike Skeen, but then Adam Andretti just pounced on that right away.
Meanwhile, in TA, it's all going off because Goldberg is really pushing on, and Rafa doing what Andretti was doing a moment ago, was just waiting for his chance. But Connor Mosak leads the race.
Looks like Matos has the car right now, though.
Yeah.
Misha looks a little bit loose. Matos looks a little bit more planted, but like I said yesterday, Connor Mosak fourth in the points. He's really got to do something here. Misha has nothing to prove. He's not in the championship hunt because of Blaze from BC Race Cars being in Canada couldn't make all the races. And Misha is always a contender, really good racer, so he's here to win the race. You know, he doesn't care about points.
Yeah, I talked to Adam Andretti yesterday, and I said, well, where are the obvious overtakes at Watkins Glen? He said, you know what, there isn't. He said, there's plenty of places to overtake, but it's a bit like Nashville. He said, because it's such a flowing circuit that it feels like a street race because, you know, everybody's in the same flow, and that's why you're seeing this really close racing. That's what makes the Glen so magic, is it's not a street circuit by any means, but in order to be fast, in order to be in the flow, you can't really go offline too much.
Merrill seems to have the fastest car out there. As we just got a shot of Boris Said.
Yep,
his car coming through. So Boris Said is moving up through the field, and there's our Masters winner yesterday, Doug Peterson, in the 87, followed by Eric Joyner, our XGT winner in that Porsche.
Yeah, Boris Said started 19th, or right at the back, obviously, because he didn't get any laps in yesterday, but he's managed, I think, to join at the back of the TA cars rather than right at the back of the field. I may be wrong on that. Unless
no, he had to start at the back of the field.
Did he really?
Yeah.
So he's doing a
per
great job
the rules,
there.
yeah.
So he was already up to 19th place last lap, and he's making places up as we go. What a start! Look at this.
So it's Connor Mosak, Misha Goldberg, Rafa Matos, Thomas Merrill, Mike Skeen, Adam Andretti.
There's Boris Said, just behind Mike Self.
That's Jack Wood and Michael Self there.
Yeah.
And there's Boris Said.
Here he comes. Boy, he's disposing with some very, very good pedalers, but Boris Said on a mission. That's what happens when you put him in the commentary box for a day. He gets mad. He's past Michael Self. And Boris Said moving up the field quickly. Shout out to Jack Wood, the youngster coming in, 21-year-old. He's in 15th position as we finally look at Boris in that technique. What a lovely paint scheme on that as well. You won't miss it, will you?
No, you won't. I've got to give it up for my buddy Tyler Casera up there in the front, number 5 in TA2 in that front group with Silver Hair Racing, doing really well. He had kind of rough luck yesterday, but there he is in the frame, that black and red, right there behind Adam Andretti. Boris said right behind Tyler Casera, Boris not going to be able to make this move here. I shouldn't say that about Boris. He can make a move wherever he wants, but he's going to play the long game here.
Casera, of course, this is his home race from Pennsylvania, and a lot of friends and family. He said he was having to borrow and beg tickets to get everybody in, so a lot of pressure, but he'll take up. He loves the pressure. Great story. Tyler Casera, a former Miata champion turned Trans Am driver.
Watch that battle between Jack Wood and Michael Self back there, just coming into the toe of the boot now. Really, uh-oh, Ernie Francis slow.
No. It wasn't for bad luck.
Can he make it into the pits? He's right there. He can pit in right here. There's the blend line for the pit lane.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, it matters. Points matter for him. Don't ever count him out.
I know, but, you know, he should be winning, not pitting.
Hey, just a couple years ago, Andy Lawley had to come in for a tire change and won the race.
Okay.
So he's not out. Never count Ernie Francis out, but he will play the long game and get all the points he needs if he's under power. But that is our current leader until now, Ernie Francis Jr. coming in. He had clutch problems yesterday, not sure what that is today.
Well, that gives Chris Dyson the lead ahead of Tommy Dreesy. Guy Smith, his teammate. Our man Tony Garcia straight there and right in the thick of it for the Future Star Racing
Obviously
number 1.
Engine. That's Billy Roper there, pulling it. They're looking for fluids, the Trans Am officials are. As we look at Connor Mosak, Misha Goikberg going up the hill. Connor Mosak really has something here. Really good racer, really impressed with him this season. And now we get to see what he can do out front as we follow along with Rafa Matos.
Yeah, like I said.
Oh, no. Ugh. Belts. Main belts. They're going to be able to get that out, hopefully, if they can, around the alternator there. So I don't know if he lost a belt in the alternator. It's crimped. See that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading the press release of Connor Mosak last night, and he really did have his tail up. He said he felt he was better than Mike Skeen and Thomas Merrill in terms of pace yesterday. That we just wasn't able to pass, and that's going back to what I said earlier about the fact that Watkins Glen is one of those places. You might have a fast car, but you got to be able to put it in the right places because everybody was driving so well. Connor just wasn't able to shine, but now out front, he's got that opportunity.
Boris and Adam Andretti right here. Boris in the day glow, Adam in the yellow car. Let's see where Boris wants to take him. No, is that, or is that?
Yeah,
no,
I think that is, yeah.
No, that's Merrill.
Oh, no,
yeah,
you're right.
There's Boris. Yeah, that's Merrill back there. Behind Rafa. Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you telling me Boris is leading?
Boris is in front of TA2. No, he's not leading. He's now just in the TA2.
Yeah.
So now all he has to worry about is TA.
Hey, scared me for a second.
But I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's Merrill behind Rafa. Now Boris is out, so now we're looking right there. That's Connor Mosak. That's the leader in TA2, followed by Misha Goikberg.
Andretti's got ahead of Merrill. That's the key.
No, Andretti's back. That's Rafa. So it goes Connor Mosak, Misha Goikberg, Rafa, Merrill, Skeen, Andretti.
Oh, you're right. They got him away.
Yeah, but not on the lead lap, though, so he's a lap back.
So, Ernie Francis Jr., apologize for the obvious mistakes, but we do have 5 classes out there right now. So we're trying to keep up with everything. And at the moment, it's Chris Dyson leading TA. Connor Mosak leading TA2. This man, Boris said, is in TA, and he is pushing on. He's ahead of this group of lead TA2 cars. Mike Skeen's dropping back. Mike Skeen not having the best of starts in the Liqui Moly car. Coming through now. Andretti under pressure from Casera now.
There he is, the hometown boy, just from down the road in Pennsylvania.
Big darky laid down by Andretti there as he went into the cambered right-hander.
Look at Misha on Connor. And then Thomas Merrill on Rafa.
Yeah, and they're going to get in some traffic fairly soon too, these leaders. An electric start to this. It's a 100-mile race, but you wouldn't think it. You'd think it was another 8-lap race from SVRA the way they're going.
Yeah, so it's 100 miles or 75 minutes, whichever comes first. And it is truly a 100-mile sprint race. We're on board with Dyson.
Yeah, Dyson quietly going about his business, has built up a half a second over Dreesy. So Dreesy's still very much in the hunt, but Guy Smith may play a role in this yet.
It's Keith Procha.
Yep.
Followed by Doug Peterson.
Yeah, 3.
Roberto Sabato. Tom Sheehan.
And there's the Droneworks car.
There's
yeah.
Justin Oaks, our first in SGT.
Yeah, Justin had a good run yesterday and won in SGT, and he's looking to do the same again. Currently 23rd overall, but ahead of Richard Grant.
And he
Scott
has a lot of
Borchetta
family
stuck
here.
down in 25th at the moment. Not a good start from him. Justin Oaks in SGT has done a really good job so far.
There's Jim Gallagher, the number 16, who was out yesterday with a radiator leak. He got into the rear of, I believe, Rhett Barco, breaking his front end. But there's Justin Oaks. Really been impressed with Justin Oaks this season.
Busy boy, too, of course.
Yeah. His family's here, like I said, and his wife and their new son, Jackson.
Big part of the Nashville event, of course.
Yeah, he corrected me yesterday. He said he finished 5th in the Big Machine Vodka Music City Grand Prix. Jim Gallagher, last year's TA2 champion on the West Coast, and that number 16 just behind him. I've noticed that Thomas Merrill can get 4 wheels off there on the entrance to the inner loop, and nobody else is hitting that same line. We're going to see if that pays off, or it could do some damage. Not sure yet, but that is basically the NASCAR line. Everybody else seems to be going through there a little bit more gingerly than Thomas Merrill, but also his car seems to be set up a little bit looser than everybody else's.
Casera is past Andretti. From that drone shot, I just saw Casera's black car ahead of the all-yellow of Andretti. Meanwhile, Lostowski got Joyner all over the back of him. Joyner, of course, XGT.
Quite a battle there. And I believe with this overcast might be a little bit of an advantage on Eric Joyner with that Porsche setup. Look, he's flashing his lights. I asked him yesterday if you flash your lights when you're passing, because these TA2, they're not used to people passing. You know, that's usually a single race, a single group, run group. So they're not used to being passed like that in certain places. And he said, yeah, I'm flashing my lights like crazy.
Well, that car, as Boris described yesterday, is quick. And with all the extra gizmos that they've got compared to the more basic Trans Am cars, he can be pretty swift in the corners for sure. Tommy Dreesy still there. Look at this. Great battle with him and Chris Dyson, because I thought Dyson, and I looked at it a moment ago and it said half a second. Well, it's less than that now. Look at Dreesy.
Yeah, there's some bitterness from yesterday between these two.
Yeah.
I was on the podium with them, and it was the most awkward podium I've been in Trans Am in my career.
Well, Tommy tried to be polite, saying how much he enjoys racing with Dyson, but Dyson was miffed. Very miffed. By the way, Dyson's celebrating 20 years in racing.
Wow, that's awesome.
He started his career, 20 years of professional racing, started here at Watkins Glen some 20 years ago in Grand Am. So he really wanted to finish cleanly yesterday, and it didn't happen for him. So we've got a very determined Dyson out there, but we've likewise got a determined Dreesy who wants to put the record book straight.
Yeah, and I feel like yesterday Dyson was miffed, and now with the ruling, Dreesy may be miffed.
Yeah.
You know, so Dreesy may have a little bit of the red mist going on to beat Dyson.
Well, the thing is, you can't change history, and what I mean by that is you can change the result, but you can't change the post-race interview and the joy of being the man first over the line. As we take a look at Guy Smith, still hovering in third, and may well have a part to play if needed.
Okay, so watch on the bottom left hand. Watch Chris Dyson's hands. Looks like he's pretty relaxed. Tommy Dreesy doesn't seem to be a bother to him. That's a really good one corner, one turn. He had a little hiccup there. He's not finding traction on the toe of the boot right now.
Somebody's parked up on the right-hand side, I noticed there, out of harm's way, but somebody not in trouble. Now they're starting to come up with traffic now. And this is where Dyson's got to have his wits about him.
just hearing from race that the toe of the boot, there's a surface condition. We saw Chris Dyson slip there, looking at his hands, and then there's a car off to the right. There's a local yellow, so there may be some debris or some oil on the track at turn 7, the toe of the boot.
Dyson nicely through, and he's making use of the traffic, and now look, Dreesy's got stuck a little bit.
That's Scott Borchetta.
Yeah, that is Borchetta. Main straight again, and Dreesy slowed a little bit there. Guy Smith is able to catch up a bit. And yeah, Borchetta way down today.
Well, that's his SVRA Group 10 car. So his big machine vodka spike cooler car must be out of contention today, and he's in his B car.
Now this is going to be a critical part of the race. We've still got an hour to go, or just under. But Dyson's now dealing with the traffic, and he's got... There's the Mercedes of Simon Gregg. Now this is only the second time we've seen Simon in that Mercedes. Great to see him out there, but he hadn't driven it since Sonoma, so thought it's getting late in the season, not give it another run.
Yeah.
And it's one of his favorite tracks, of course, so why not?
And I have some cool news about this. I was stopped at the grid. Haley Holbrook from Maine is one of the scholarship replay.
Matos taking Misha Goicoberg out, or at least pushing him wide. Well, that was an Al Unser Jr. moment, and full course yellow.
Well, this gives me a chance to say...
And that's the fluid, I think, you were talking about.
Yeah. Haley Holbrook from Maine, the first Peter Gregg Foundation scholarship recipient to be at the races.
Oh,
and I talked to Terry St. Martin, one of the crew chiefs of that team, and they have been so impressed with her.
Oh, great.
Like, I think, honestly, just judging on him, he was like, yeah, we weren't quite sure about what these students would come in and do, and now he's ready to hire her. So obviously that program is working. We want to give it up for Haley Holbrook. I met her, and she seems to be having the time of her life out there.
Good for her.
So the future of racing and crew chiefs may be Haley Holbrook.
You know, and people like the Peter Gregg Foundation and what Lynn St. James does, giving back effectively and investing time, energy, and money into the future of this sport, because, you know, mechanics aren't growing on trees and they get older and older every year, but we need new blood. Not just drivers either.
I just heard from the pace car that they're supposed to let the 98 go through, so that might mean that Ernie can make up his lap.
Yeah, fair enough. He was shown in 33rd place a moment ago. He's up to 31st now.
So there's Simon Gregg right there.
That's a good-looking Mercedes, isn't it? It's a shame that he hasn't had it out since Sonoma. I remember it running there and thinking, wow, that's a good-looking car. And it is.
Yeah, he's real fast. I love Simon Gregg. His attitude is, I just want to do what's fun. And he's like, I'm going to try out this Mercedes here this weekend, too. So there's our pace car.
Yeah, we're under safety fence. We think there's some fluid down on the track. That's what we've been told.
I'm seeing the white flag there on the right, meaning there's a slower car ahead of them. So that must be the tow trucks maybe going to pick up. The car lost its power. It was the number 30 of Grant, Richard Grant. So,
or is it Tommy putting the white flag asking Dyson to surrender?
Maybe.
Could be.
Dreesy did get upset. I heard him on the radio talking when they were coming around lap traffic of Scott Borchetta, and I feel like Scott Borchetta gave him all the room. Let's listen to him.
Ernie's in again.
Tommy just said we're faster than Dyson.
Yeah. So the restart could be very interesting indeed. Sadly, Ernie's in again in the 98. Now what are they going to do? But either way, it's not looking good. Started the weekend third in the championship.
Oh, now it's water. Yeah. So that belt that came off might have been connected to some kind of water pump, and now they might be overheating. I'm not sure.
Oh, you think? I think that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. Look at that. He's holding the water there.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate pouring water into a hot radiator like that. Billy's looking.
He's at least got the gloves on. Nice stuff. And you're not missing a trick here in Trans Am where it got every angle covered. Nice work, Tony.
But that's motor racing, folks. It can go wrong very quickly. And Ernie Francis Jr. with a multitude of champions under his belt. Where do you think he should go next year?
Where do you think I think he should go, or where would I like to see him?
Where would you like to see Ernie race?
I would personally like to see Ernie in the top field of NASCAR.
I would too, and I think
really
that's actually my. I mean, he could go single season.
As a fan,
yeah.
As a friend, I want him to go wherever he gets paid the most and makes the best career move.
Well, when I watched Christopher Bell last night, and I watched William Byron and Ross Chastain and a few others, I think to myself, Ernie's as good as any of those guys. I really do think that.
Yeah.
Justin Haley,
as we saw in SRX, I think a
Yeah.
big reason some of these big teams were looking, they think, oh, maybe he's just road course. But I think as he proved in SRX, he can race the ovals in dirt or asphalt.
And I also think that stock cars is probably, you know, he's been in stock cars all his life, and I think he's done really well at single seaters, and it's always nice to have that skill. But I think if he's going to be a household name, I want to see him racing Hamlin every week.
Yeah. So let's go through the order. First place in TA, Chris Dyson, followed by Tommy Dreese, Guy Smith in third, Amy Ruman fourth, Boris Said fifth, and Ken Twaits in sixth place. Nice job, Ken Twaits.
Yeah.
Then TA2.
Nice job, Boris Said.
Connor Mosak, Rafa Matos in second, Misha Goikberg in third. That was a racing incident. I heard it come across the wire, but that was basically Misha went a little bit long and then cut him off. And Thomas Merrill, Mike Ski, Tyler Casera, Adam Andretti, Jack Wood, Eric Joyner, first in XGT.
Well, they've got a bigger, they're putting more in that.
Ooh, that's condensation on that's really cold water.
Yeah.
Hope that doesn't do anything to it. A really hot engine.
Yeah.
You know, something's going on because there's Scott Borchetta's car. We got to figure out what's going on there. So is there a... Oh, I think I see what's going on. Rhett Barco may be in one of those cars. Maybe Rhett Barco was able to borrow Scott Borchetta's 48 and make it 148. I see Rhett Barco out there. He told me last night he was out. So maybe Rhett Barco is in that.
He is. He's in the 148.
But look, we're getting smoke here. Maybe that's just oil dry. Okay, I think that's just oil dry.
That's the oil dry that's going down on the, which is why we're under caution.
So we're going to try to figure this thing out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. 21st place is showing Scott Borchetta in 21st in the 48. And then, as you might mention, Rhett Barco in the 148 is 26.
Ernie's back out there. I don't know what they're trying to do. There's points to finishing half the race. There's points to finishing the race. Obviously, they've got an overheating issue. It's probably linked to one of those belts, but I believe that yellow, school bus yellow car there is going to be Rhett Barco. And then Scott Borchetta is back in his A car. So
well,
sorry
and the
about
reason
that.
why Rhett would want to be out there, he's racing for the
Rookie of the Year
as well. He's leading that ahead of Franklin Futrell, who isn't racing this weekend. Michael Self also in that battle, and it's not over by any means. Started the weekend in Red in with 108. Futrell was still second, but not here, so therefore that would mean that Self would move up to second place in that rookie standing.
So Milton Grant was on the side of the track, and then there's Kerry Grant and, Richard Grant was on the side of the track, and then we look at Kerry Grant and Milton Grant going in.
Yeah, it's a family affair, isn't it, with three Grants out there.
So what they're doing is they're going into the pits so that we can get them all back in the same order.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Simon Gregg didn't get that call because he should have gone into the pits because he's a lap down.
Second in XGT.
Yeah.
25th overall, but a lap behind. Yeah, I get it.
So I'm listening to the radio.
He's chasing Eric Joyner, remember?
Yeah. So they're trying to get the field back in order in this big group of mixed cars out here.
So we're under caution at the moment. We've had some fluid down going into the boot, and effectively they've had to get out there and clean it up, while the race continues under caution. And good battle between Skeen and Casera, I'm sure, and Andretti. Those three all looking for it. And then the youngster, Jack Wood, in 14th position in the 96 in his first race this year. Usually in the Camping World Truck Series.
I'm listening for, oh, look at this, Dreesy.
Dreesy's not happy.
Yeah. Dyson's trying to slow down the field. And look for Guy Smith to try to duck up in front of Dreesy because they're teammates. So he'd love to get in there and be a little bit of a splitter between them.
Well, and I'm sure they're talking on the radio that at this restart, they want Smith to challenge Dreesy for that second place, and then they control the race. Guy Smith, a very, very
control the race.
driver.
There's a guy named Boris Said behind them.
There is a good point.
There is no control of the race when Boris Said is chomping at the bit.
He's got his chrome horn on. There you can see the dry, yeah, you can see the whole line where it's gone down.
Hey, we're going green this time by, gentlemen.
That's the hope.
That's what I'm hearing from control.
Yep, we just heard from race control that that's the plan. So they cleaned it up, but it was a long stretch, and you can see it now as you're on board with Rafa. So this restart could be pivotal in this race of our doubleheader here at Watkins Glen. 13 laps gone, 47 minutes to go, whichever comes first.
Ken, you better catch up to Boris Said there for this restart because the TA2 is going to be right behind you.
Now, what have you got, Tommy? Because this is critical. He's got a guy in front and a guy behind.
And they're going to leave Simon Gregg there.
The lights do go out now, and Dyson is in control of this race. He slows it all down. You can see the brake lights. And they're telling Tommy on the radio, get ready, get ready.
I don't know why they're leaving Simon Gregg there unless he's going to pit in here.
Here we go. Dreesy tucking himself up behind Dyson, who slows it right down. This will be really peeving Dreesy, but that's the way it goes. That's racing. He is in control of this race as they come through 11. Dreesy's ready for a restart. Can he make a dive on Dyson, which would change the reflection of this race completely? And look, this is really interesting because Dyson won't go and Dreesy's trying to push him forward. But away they go now, and look at Guy Smith. Guy Smith is coming round the outside to take second place as planned by the Dyson team. And Dreesy's going to be really fed up with that. He tried to move Dyson forward, but Dyson controlled the race, and now Dreesy has dropped to third, and Guy Smith and Dyson have got what they wanted.
You can hear them. They said they got a plan. What am I supposed to do? Dreesy's got to be upset. He's got to collect himself because he's got Boris Said right behind him. But man, this could not be working out more for Dyson with the points.
Let's look at TA2 now. Mosak still leads. Merrill all over the back of Goikhberg.
There's Ernie.
Ernie Francis Jr. just ahead of Justin Oakes. On board Kent Waits.
Let's see how he does with Amy here. And look at this smoke. This is going to really hurt visibility because all this kitty litter is down here collecting the oil dry, and then it just goes up into like a vapor, and it really causes some visual impairment.
Well, let's take another look at that restart, because watch, Dyson literally holds them as long as he dares, and that allows Smith to come alongside, and that was the plan, and it worked to a T. That was perfectly executed by Dyson. Nothing wrong with that. That's racing. Yeah. But it doesn't help Dreesy.
The best racing there, though, was Dreesy. To be able to hold that. That's Adam Andretti with some tire rub. Looks like tire rub on Andretti.
Well, whatever's happening,
yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
He's been hit on the left side.
I think he has.
He's going to have to come in, I think, if they're looking at it.
Mosak comes through in the lead.
Andretti's going to go around one more time.
Number 86. There he is in the yellow. No, he's continuing. But even Joyner's passing him now. So look at this. Eric Joyner on the left-hand side in the Porsche. At the back of this group, in the lead group, is Merrill. Here comes Joyner on the inside of Tyler Casera.
Oh, be careful, Eric.
Oy, it's all going off. Lovely.
Jack Wood lost 2 places there.
Yeah, he did. So whatever's going on with Andretti is intermittent, because he's not slowing down any.
No, I don't know what that is. I think maybe he got hit there
yeah.
on the right side. There it is, on the left side of his car.
Yeah, you can see it
and
flapping
so
away, yeah.
under braking, it may be causing some tire rub. Jack Wood not giving up, side by side into the inner loop with Ernie Francis Jr. right behind them, waiting to pounce.
Well, the young 21-year-old really putting on a show here. Look at him side by side with the very experienced Adam Andretti. Tabitha's watching on.
Uh-oh. Hi, Tabitha.
She's enjoying it. And, of course, Adam Andretti's wife watching on.
And crew member.
Matos now all over Merrill.
Look at Merrill. The rear end of his car looks a little bit looser.
But I think he likes it that way.
Yeah, he does.
And here comes Matos. He hasn't been able to get past
Merrill takes
a
a
few laps
defensive
yet.
line.
Great restart. Skeen still in the hunt. Misha Goikerberg losing a little bit of ground on Connor Mosak, the leader. But this has been a cracking TA2 battle so far. 43 minutes to go, halfway through 15 of the 30 laps.
Misha Goikerberg has a brake light out. Left brake light is out.
And Casera now has got Ernie Francis Jr. behind him.
Which actually works out. If he can get Francis in front of him and then suck behind him on the draft, he might make up some time here. And
remember, if you're wondering, TA has some 850 plus brake horsepower compared to the TA2 cars, which are limited at 550.
Look at how loose Merrill is.
Yeah, but he seems to like it. Matos biding his time. Here comes Ernie. He's got past Casera, and that drag has gone already. Andretti still circulating and ahead of Jack Wood.
No, yeah, sorry. Scott Borchetta moving up. Scott Borchetta's looking good. Sabato there in the tie-dye.
And do we think that's Brett Barco, yeah?
I think in the Borchetta's B car.
Francis up another move. He's made up another play, so Ernie Francis Jr. has done a heck of a job so far. He's been in the pits twice, has Ernie. You saw the radiator yourself. He's struggling with an overheating problem.
Man, they're all going wide there on that exit. That's not a big, long curb like some of the others. We watch Ernie Francis get ahead of Merrill. Now he's going to try to duck behind Skeen. And now Merrill's going to try to use this to his advantage if he can.
Yeah, good point, yeah. Well, he's not going to have much time to do it because Ernie's on a run for sure. So the more powerful number 98 now taking on the championship leader from TA2, Mike Skeen, and makes easy work of it now behind Goikerberg, as Ernie Francis Jr. will soon clear the TA2 battle.
He should be able to get Goikerberg into turn one, and then he's going to have to get Connor Mosak going into the inner loop, and then it's just a TA battle for Ernie.
Yeah. I love watching Ernie race. He's so smooth, he's so fair, he's not dirty. 23 years of age.
Well, according to my timing and scoring, he's 2 laps back.
And we got a full course yellow again, and this time it's Tommy Dreesy. Sadly, the Lucas Slick Miss car is parked.
Suspension. There's air in all the tires. So it's an old broken suspension. Something old and broken. I'm in a bad place. Full course yellow.
All I could hear from that.
Course yellow.
Did you just hear my response? Did you hear it? Maybe you can't hear me now. I can hear you now, but now you can't hear me because I just told you enough.
We can hear you, Tommy. We can hear the disappointment. Said something broken suspension.
Well, let's take a look at what happened. Here we go. Oh my word. Well,
No, that's a tire.
That was
That's
a
a
tire
left
just
rear
explode
tire.
on him, yeah.
So Terry, if you're watching this, that's a left rear tire.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, no way he's going anywhere. Yeah, he wasn't sure whether his team could hear his radio. We could hear it loud and clear. And he basically said, put out a full course yellow. I'm not going anywhere.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I love
there's
Tommy
no-
Dreese.
no-
I love
there's no-
everybody in this field, and I really want this championship hunt that we have here between Dreese.
Here's the onboard of Dreese hitting hard and going out. Yeah, that's nasty.
So Boris said moves up one more place.
I know, Boris said could be on the podium if he's not careful. There he is. And there's Guy Smith just ahead of him. Connor Mosack still leading. Now he's got Ernie Francis Jr. behind him, and of course, Ernie's in TA, so he'll want to clear the TA2 class completely by this, but it's Dyson Smith and Boris Said, top three. So Said already in a podium position. Amy Ruman in 4.
Hey, watch this.
Go on.
I'm going to get Tommy Dreese to finish the race with us up here.
I think that's a great idea. But hang on, he's a long way away at the moment. You've certainly got enough time. Mike Cope represented. Jason Cope, excuse me. Right, here we go. Here's Tommy Dreese. So that's the Mike Cope engineer or mechanic that is not here this weekend and homesick, so get well soon. But that was a nasty incident. We got some great onboards from there. As Tommy Dreese, I think is fine. They've got the ambulance there, but you won't need it. We'll give him some love up in the booth if Ben can make that happen. So yeah, that cardboard cutout was one of the Mike Cope crew members that's gone sick, and they made a cutout of him, so he's here in spirit. This is interesting. You've got Tommy's car, who just had an accident, another accident, in front of the incident. Now, this beggars belief. There are 2 cars in the wall ahead of Tommy Dreese's incident. Or one car's come off and the driver's getting out. But that was weird. It's not often that happens. But he's out the car and is A-OK. Now let's take a look at what happened then, because there is drama aplenty going on in our Trans Am all-class race. Well, it's a strange incident. He just took a right turn out of nowhere there. Parks it up, so no harm, no foul, but may as well park it up where you know there's going to be some attention fairly quickly. So we're under caution here. Tommy Dreese is out rather dramatically with his tyre exploding in the left rear. So we're under full caution, and it's Chris Dyson with Guy Smith from Great Britain, the former IMSA and Le Mans winner, behind him in 2nd place. Boris Said now up to 3rd, having started at the back, I may add. So great stuff by the mighty Boris. And Amy Ruman, the 2-time former champion, in 4th position. Ken Thwaites in 5th. So this could be a very interesting battle, because the 2 teammates, and there's Amy Ruman right behind Boris Said. The 2 teammates, Guy Smith and Chris Dyson, Boris Said won't give a jot about what their plan is. He's got his own. And after not racing yesterday, and given that he's supposedly retired, Boris has been saying that for, what, 5 years now? Boris is going to be fueled up, I'm sure. And then Ken Thwaites is right behind Amy Ruman. Been a good season for Ken. He won the XGT Championship in that Audi R8 last year. He's done a great job of taking to the TA Championship well. He took 10 years out of racing before he came back to Trans Am. Pretty impressive what he's done. There's the incident. So 2 cars involved. They've got a tow truck there. Tommy Dreese parked up. The ambulance is gone. hard to keep the concentration for these drivers in these situations because they just don't know when they're going to be asked to restart it. But their only real indication, besides their engineers, is what they could see of the situation on the side of the track. And obviously, each time they go round and they see less people and less ambulance stroke tow trucks, they know they're getting closer to the run. So you're watching Trans Am, our all-class doubleheader from Watkins Glen, and so far it's been a cracker. Now, as you may have heard, Ben drifted out the pit, out of the booth to go down to the pits, and he's now with Connor Mosak's crew chief. Let's join Ben Sissel.
So I'm here on the grid on the pit lane with Dave, who's talking to Connor Mosak, currently in the lead in TA2. Dave, what's he saying on the radio?
Right now he's real happy. He's trying to save a little bit, you know, with the brakes and the tires. You know, it's a long race, so he's just cruising right now. Luckily, he's just had good, clean air, and he's good to go for now.
Nice. Ready to go for now. Back to you.
Good stuff, Ben. Yeah, Connor Mosak in a good position here. Connor has been at the sharp end all season long, and the luck hasn't gone his way, but it might just do that today. Currently 4th in the championship. By my recollection, yet to have a win. And that would be a really, really, really good day for him if he can get there, because it changed the way he looks at VIR for sure, Connor Mosak. Been schooled well, has Connor, from Scott Lagacy Jr., who effectively gave up his seat to help Connor, who is still very much a youngster, fighting out with some very experienced pedalers with the likes of Merrill, Skeen and Matos. And if we can get this scalp today, especially under these dramatic circumstances where you've got stop go, full course yellow, hurry up waiting, as we call it. Certainly what Dyson's doing right now, but you can see there's quite a lot of work still to do. And as we heard yesterday, the one thing about a situation like this is one of the equations that is factored in is now factored out, and that's tires. If you do a full 100-mile race with no full course yellows, then the tires can go off fairly quickly towards the end. And so you may choose to not push quite so hard or fight so hard mid-race. But when you have a situation like this, mid or just past mid-race, then the tires obviously cool down. They're not pushed as hard, unless you're Tommy Dreesy. And it means that then we can have a full sprint pretty much. We're now at 20 of the 30 laps and a 30-minute sprint. So those tires should be in good fettle for a full-on assault at the last third of the race.
Mike standing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Now, this is the Doug Winston car, 98A. And he's out of the car. Not responsible, of course. Now let's have another look at what happened to Tommy Dreesy, because that's been the biggest moment of the race. Yeah, Boris said did a very good job of just missing that. That was something I hadn't noticed because I was focusing on what happened to Tommy, but his left rear just exploded, basically. on board with him now as he comes up over the crest and starts to turn in. It lets go right here, that's it. And he was lucky not to hit the barrier heavier than he did. Just nudged it there, and then it comes to a stop in the right direction. That's a good thing too. So, Tommy Dreesy, man, second in the championship at the beginning of the weekend, out of the race. Tyler Caceres still pedaling along in the number 5, just ahead of Eric Joyner in the Porsche. So a lot going on in this race. Back with Kent Waits. Still a lot of work to be done at that situation. Lots of trucks on the track. They've got the other car on the trailer, but we've now got 4 tow trucks. But it wouldn't take them long to get out of there, so we could be going racing fairly soon. If not this next lap, the lap after. And I think actually those trucks are literally waiting for the field to file by, and then they will file off track. Now Dyson trying to push that safety car forward, because obviously he's now trying to keep temperature in his tires. And like I said, they are quickly, as soon as the field is passed, they are line astern and they are going to be off track and ready to go. There's Simon Gregg's Mercedes finally coming up. He's got to be careful here because they are about to meet him, but they are all going to get out of his way and he's aware of them. The field comes into the boot and we think it's going to be green this time, and that means that Dyson will start to prepare himself for the restart. Guy Smith won't get in his way because he's there to play the role of helping Dyson get the most points possible. But Smith's got his own problems because Boris Said is behind him. There's Dyson, there's Smith, and there's Boris. Amy Ruman senses an opportunity. Kent Waits is there. There's TA2, led by Connor Mosack. You heard from his engineer, sitting pretty at the moment. Do the lights go off? Yes, they do. So, we're about to go racing. Ben Cecil joins me back in the booth, and we're going to go racing again. Now, look at Guy Smith holding back the whole field. It's a little unsporting, but hey, not so sure how they're going to look at that. But it's going to give Dyson a huge advantage. Boris will not be happy. If you think that Dreesy gets aggressive, watch Boris at the rearing start. Guy Smith holding him right back here behind Dyson, and here comes Boris Said. The green flag waves. Boris Said jumps straight away past Guy Smith. There's only so much he can do, and Boris Said is going for the lead. And he said himself yesterday, if there was a gap, he'd go for it. He almost took Dyson out, but he holds second. Guy Smith comes back at him at turn 2, but Boris Said has come from the back to second. Amy Ruman fancies a go. She's in 4th place. Kent Waits just behind Amy Ruman in 5th. Great restart. Guy Smith tried everything in the book to hold back Boris Said, but he wasn't having it.
Oh no!
Another major incident. Mike Skeen, Misha Goikerberg, and Thomas Merrill all involved. Eric Joyner trying to get through. Okay. Andretti does get through.
Tom Sheehan's through.
Matos gets through.
Matos doesn't look good though. You see all that? Eric
Joyner is past Matos. And of course they're in different classes. But there is mayhem ensuing as Misha Goikerberg, not sure who caused that, but you could guess that Misha Goikerberg could well be the cause of that. Mike Skeen, because he was trying to get past Misha. I'd like to see that again, and I'm sure we will. But meanwhile, Dyson is off and running, but he's got Boris Said behind him. Boy,
I'm going back out, Jonathan.
I tell you what, you're going to have to. Well, you can have your Shakespeare. This is real drama, as Sid Waddell once said. Mike Skeen damaged in the Stevens Miller Racing. We're going to get a replay of what happened, and hopefully we'll get a clear indication. Let's take a look. Well, here we go, the restart. Now look in the back of your picture now. Mosak is through cleanly, but I think Tyler Casera gets into the back of Skeen. Misha Goikerberg takes avoiding action, and so you could say that Casera may well have caused that, or at least got into the back of Skeen. I don't want to blame Casera because it's not as clear as that. But Merrill then, it becomes a concertina effect. And like Skittles, here we go. See it from Matos. He's behind Casera. No, it was Merrill that got in trouble. And that's how Casera got through. You see it much more clear from Matos, and he did a heck of a job, did Rafa Matos. That was excellent. Really got an indication there. So it was Merrill, I think, that actually, no one, it was a racing incident. I'm not blaming anybody, but I think the instigator, if you will, the catalyst, was this man, Thomas Merrill, at the restart. But everybody was going for broke, obviously. A lot of debris on track. Boris and Chris Dyson's got to be careful. Wow. Well, we wanted some action. We got it. And the mission bell is ringing, quite literally. Our sponsor on the side there. Ken Waits takes a breath as we do. Ben's headed back to the pits. He's a busy boy. So, just to catch us up, Tommy Dreesy was involved in a massive incident when his tyre blew. That caused a double yellow. Another car went off, but that was really just pulling out of the race. Then we went for the restart. It was clean at the front in TA. Dyson held it, but Boris Said now takes up second place. Meanwhile, in TA2, all sorts of action as Thomas Merrill goes into the wall, and into the pits comes, let's see who that is that Jack Wood? It's the 96. So yes, it is Jack Wood. The young 21-year-old was involved in that, and obviously damage to the front. You can see how badly the bodywork is, but it's hard to see whether the mechanics of the car are okay, but he wouldn't come in if they weren't. So the young Jack Wood, the Truck Series regular, is in the pits. Wow, Watkins Glen throwing up some action. Love it. This our 33rd visit to the Glen. First TA race won by Jerry Titus, of all people, in a Ford Mustang. Wouldn't it be ironic if a Ford Mustang led by Chris Dyson right there could do it again in 2021? Not if Boris Said has anything to do with it. Now, here's your TA2. Conor Mosak, Casera, from Matos, from Lostowski, and Keith Prochak. That's where we stand at the moment. We're on board with Rafa Matos. He's got the XGT car of Eric Joyner in front of him, number 10. So eliminate that from Matos's thoughts, although it won't take long, I don't think, for Matos. I say that Porsche is fairly swift, so it might take some time on Matos to get past. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes Matos to get past Joyner at the restart. Ernie Francis Jr. has had his problems, but he's still out there. And you know what? I mark Ben Sissel's words, because he was right. I said it was all over for Ernie. It's certainly not. Now everybody's coming in. This is effectively a black flag situation, but they're all coming in. And they may well pause them here while we get everything sorted, because Merrill's car is deep into that barrier. I'm guessing they can't get him out, actually. No, he's got a problem, but let's take another look at what happened again, just to remind you and judge for yourself. I'm doing this on the fly just as you are. So here we go. Look behind in the far distance as the leaders come out. Mosak is fine, but already Skeen is turned round, and in the melee, what you don't see is you see Casera come out, but before that, Merrill had already hit the wall. Misha Goikerberg in the blue car, 0, was done. What we really need is the Merrill on board, or Matos is on board. Here it is. Casera gets past him, but now watch just the yellow car. There it is. No, it was Skeen, I think. I think Skeen hit the wall, and then Merrill followed suit, and then Matos manages to avoid all of them. So I'm changing my mind again. Wow, it's all going on. Look at Matos having to take avoiding action again, and that Liqui Moly car of Mike Skeen getting turned around several times. So I think Skeen actually, now I look at it again, could well have been the initiator of that, because he just tapped the barrier on the restart. So let's head down to the pits. Ben is in the thick of it all. Let's hear what he's got. He's down with Connor Mosack.
So I'm with Connor Mosack here at this black flag condition. First, let me explain what's happening. If the cars come into the pit boxes, the teams can work on the cars, but they have to start at the back. When they come here, the teams are not allowed to touch the cars. They can give the drivers water if the officials allow it, but they can't touch the cars. I'm here with current TA2 leader Connor Mosack, fourth in points. That big crash happened right behind him. Connor, how's it feeling out there?
Car's feeling pretty good. You know, these cautions are kind of hurting us. I feel like our car is better on the long runs, and we're able to build a gap after a few laps there. So it makes it interesting with these restarts. I think we can continue to hold them off here, and hopefully he'll get us our first win.
Nice. So Connor Mosack always in the hunt, looking for his first win, driving for Race for RP, Nick Taylor custom fit underwear. Connor Mosack, good luck. Now, if you watch the replay, this silver hair came through just barely, like a rabbit, just barely made it through. I looked on this side, I thought there would be damage. Tyler Casera, you've got your family here, home track, and now you're in second place as I see it. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's great. Honestly, I really don't know how I made it through that. Going up through the S's, got inside Rafa and won, had a great restart, and they just started spinning in front of me, and I just was trying to avoid everybody, and I almost had Skeen nose to nose, but kind of went right at the last minute, and the seas parted, and I made it through that. So I don't think we got any damage except from earlier in the race. So I think we'll be in good shape for this restart to go for the win.
Yeah, the only body damage I see is your right front, but it looks pretty inconsequential. There's nothing here on the left. Now we're going to go to Adam Andretti, who's really had a good seat. The body, I don't know if you know this, Adam, but your body's kind of flapping on the left. But man, tell us about that incident.
Well, this is crazy TA2 racing, right? And you know, we're starting to get desperate with 10 to go, less than 10 to go, and you saw it up front. It was absolutely a crazy mess that was going on, but glad it sounds like everyone's safe, so we should be in good shape.
All right, great. All right, so Tony, I want you to get a shot of this. We just had the Trans Am, the Pirelli man here looking at this, and see this? That's going to cause real tire rub there, because that's a hard pinch. Unfortunately, the Peterson 3D Dimensional Services Group is not allowed to touch the car as he is. So we're hoping that once he rolls forward, that maybe that will go away. But as the tire rolls this way, I feel like that's just going to bring the body work more up there. So you got to watch for some body rub. I know you're not allowed to touch the car, but what are you seeing here with the body rub?
We see the body rub there. The driver's indicating to us that it smokes a little bit under decel, but other than that, straight line speed, we're not having any issues.
Nice. Well, there you go. You hear it right from Adam's crew chief. And then Adrian Lostovsky had a crazy race yesterday, a crazy incident. Adrian, did you make it through that unscathed?
Yeah, we didn't touch anything that time. We do have steering problems right now. The car feels like something's really messed up at the front end, but we're keeping pace, and the yellows have been helping us. So we're just trying to keep it together now and just make sure we keep the wheels on it for the end of the race.
All right. So that I don't give my cameraman here a heart attack, Jonathan, I'm going to send it back to you, but then come back to me because I'm going to get Boris.
Sounds good to me. Good luck with that. But what drama and what great stories Ben's able to give us. And I think the great line, for me anyway, was Tyler Casera. He's right. The seas parted, quite literally, because how he got through there, I will never know. But the truth of the matter is, several cars out, including Thomas Merrill, Mike Skeen, and a lot of very lucky boys out there, including Tyler Casera, Adam Andretti, who's got that bodywork, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too badly in a straight line. It's just under deceleration that he's got a problem. Well done to Ben and Tony Garcia. Now they're going to go and try and join Boris Said, who I'm sure will be lively with a few words if we can get him. But we're under black flag here.
Slow, Chuck. I'm not really curious. And so
Adam
Adrian,
Andretti.
how's his pace been? Pretty slow? Okay.
So they're just chatting away with his engineer.
Okay, then I could probably hang on to this.
Another story, obviously, is in TA with Ernie Francis Jr. Let's head down again and hear from Ernie's crew chief, because obviously he's had his fair few problems with that radiator. Let's join Ben.
All right, so now I'm here with what I consider to be the crew chief for the Future Star Racing Wings and Wheels Foundation with Ernie Francis Jr. You told me that you guys are 2 laps down. I saw you fiddling with all the belts up there. What happened, Billy?
It looks like we broke a belt. This year has been just the whole, everything that normally doesn't fail has failed. I mean, we broke a belt. Last time we seized a clutch. I mean, it's just really weird stuff that's happened to us this year. So, you know, but he never quits. We never quit on him. So we put a new belt on there. The car's running good right now. So he's just going to go out and make as many passes as he can.
Well, like I've always said, the first rule of Trans Am racing is never count out Ernie Francis Jr. Ernie, what's your plan going to be out there?
Yeah, at this point, I mean, we're 2 laps down, so winning this race is pretty much out of the question. But we got a fast car, and if we can pass everybody in front of us and, you know, win the race in our own minds, it'd be kind of fun. So at this point, I'm just having fun with it. Nothing really else to do out there but try and get to the front. So.
Nice. I love it. All right, that's Ernie Francis Jr. Amy Ruman, who finished 3rd in the race yesterday, is doing really well here. Nice job, Amy. Then we come up here, Guy Smith. Great restart from Guy Smith, but the story of it so far is Pancho Weaver and Boris Said. Boris Said you had to be in the announcer booth with us yesterday, and now you've moved all the way through the field. Grab the mic and tell us what you're seeing from your seat.
Oh, nothing. I mean, it's just normal Watkins Glen racing. It's tough, you know, and it's fun. I got Chris Dyson. I think I'm a little quicker, but he's blocking me a little bit.
All right, so Jonathan, they're going. I got to leave. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, Ben, you're about to be in the race itself. Come back to the booth. It's safe up here. But, yeah, I think Boris just said it like it is, as he always does. Chris Dyson basically holding him up, as was Guy Smith in the previous restart, but he's dealing with it. So plenty of great stories up and down the field. And that's Trans Am, folks. Everybody willing to talk, everybody willing to tell you their story. Nothing to hide here in Trans Am. It's pure racing. And that goes for the cars and the drivers and the series. Great to see. It's pure racing as it has been for 55 years. 33 of them right here at Watkins Glen. So what can Andretti do? He's got bodywork rubbing on the side of the rear left of the car, but it's not slowing him down. It's only under deceleration that he's actually getting the bodywork hitting the car. And as long as it doesn't affect the tyre too badly, he should be able to get to the finish and keep going. There it is. You see it for yourself. It's not that bad, but it's not what you want, put it that way. Not easy. But Andretti's an old peddler. He'll get on with it. He won't mind that. He's an Andretti after all, let's face it. Cousin Michael racing in Portland with his team this weekend. And big news coming out that Michael's Andretti is looking towards Formula One, and that is no longer a rumor. So big things happening with Team Andretti. Chris Dyson. Another important restart. This race will be remembered, if Chris wins it, by the fact that he was able to maintain his composure at the restarts, with the help, of course, of his teammate Guy Smith, who's done a really good job. Now, what's Rafa going to do in the restart? He got lucky too. Talk about getting past the parting waves. Rafa did a great job. Matos now going through the field, and the reason why is they couldn't get him started early on. Now he's back up to position now. He's behind Joyner. There he is. So that's why we were on board then with Rafa Matos. He had to catch up to his actual starting position because he couldn't get under power to start with. So good to see Rafa has managed to get it started and back in position. And that was crucial. He's the championship leader and winner yesterday. Now, as if by magic, and I say magic, but you know what? We've got the bleep button ready, but
we
he
don't
won't
need it. FCC doesn't cover live streaming, but I saw Tommy coming in on the medical golf cart. I stopped him. He's actually pretty positive. Tommy, tell us what you're seeing from your point of view.
Well, first of all, I got to think there's a kid that's been working with us all weekend, Haley. And she's with the Peter Gregg Foundation. So I wanted to just say thank you so much, scholarship winner. And, you know, what the Greggs, what Simon's doing with his historic, one of the GOATs of all time, Peter Gregg. So, you know, so anyway, for the race, on the restart, I really said to myself, you know, I'm just going to wait. I've been going 95% the whole time, so we had the fastest car.
Wait, Tommy, let me stop you there. Looks like we're going to get a restart. But Tommy, why don't you help Jonathan call this restart?
Let him catch his breath as well. I'll get you into it. Chris Dyson no longer being chased by the very fast Tommy Dreesy. We've got him now. We had Boris yesterday, and Boris, I think, is going to do
Come
it,
on,
Tommy.
Boris.
Boris is going to go for the lead. Amy Ruman goes to the inside in the Corvette. Boris said goes to the outside. Dyson defends. Boris side by side as they go into one. Boris Webb will try to go the long way round. He can't do it. Here comes Ernie Francis Jr., but he's in TA. And a couple of laps behind, and Francis gets past and unlaps himself once at least. Go Ernie!
Outside.
Lovely work. Chris Dyson holding the lead.
You go, boy. Is he a lap down or is he?
Yeah, he's a lap down, unfortunately.
Who cares? Go get him.
He's out there for fun.
Go get him, Ernie.
Guy Smith lost out in the restart there. Amy Ruman got past him. Meanwhile, in TA2, Conor Mosak, Tyler Casera, the local man, on board with Andretti with that rubbing rear bodywork. Andretti, though, going well.
Is he leading TA2?
Conor Mosak is in the lead.
Conor Mosak's leading TA2, but it's a real good battle. Ken Thwaites just behind all of them in TA. So we'll catch our breath, but Guy Smith was the man that lost out the most. He's now starting to try to challenge Amy Ruman as they go through the boot. But it's still, at the moment, Dyson leading the way. Here comes Guy Smith on Amy Ruman, and the drone gives us the perfect illustration of an overtake.
Oh,
and
too deep.
He lost out because he missed his braking point.
That was really good driving there from Amy Ruman in that McNichols 23 Chevrolet Corvette. She knew her braking zone, and Guy just went a little bit too deep there in that La Vida Tequila car in Dyson Racing.
He'll need a shot after that.
So what's Dyson thinking right now, knowing that Ernie's 2 laps behind?
Let him go.
Just let him
Let him go.
right? Yeah. Because this fight is Boris.
Not easy on the restarts, Tommy, by the way, but Dyson and Smith ganged up on you, didn't they?
Yeah. You know, I had a pretty good restart, but Dyson just slowed up on the inside, let Guy go on the outside. But you know what? We had enough laps to go. We were faster than everybody, and I just paced him. I said, "Don't worry, guys. We'll get Guy back, and then we'll go after Dyson."
Matos makes his move on Lostowski. Nicely done. Clean move as well. He's now behind his teammate Andretti.
Matos really had to check up to avoid any of that debris and everything, so now he's trying to make it back up as we're on board with the number 3 fast auto racing Adrian Lostowski from the state of New York. What are you seeing, Dreesy?
You know what? These guys run 10/10s in the TA2 class. They really are some of the best drivers in the world, and it's just every race they have, man. It's a story, it's drama, and it's fast action racing.
Well, Tommy, we felt for you yesterday. We know you had your head down, but we did eventually see a yellow flag, but I'm not in the car. So
yeah, it was really, it was one of those things where somebody off on the right there, another 5-point yellow, I think. That's
that
a bad
could be Tommy Sheehan, I think.
Yeah, that's just past the apex of turn 6, that downhill section. It's a little bit blind for the drivers, and he's hard into the tires, it looks like. So if all 3 three-dimensionals come around, that's got to be Sheehan or Rhett Barco.
Yes, good point.
And if if that's Rhett Barco, that's where he went off yesterday. I hope it isn't, because Rhett Barco's borrowing Scott Borchetta's SVRA Group 10 car. So there's two of the three-dimensionals.
Here's your TA2 battle. Connor Mosak leading Tyler Casera. Flames pouring out. Then comes Matos. Then comes Andretti.
Come on, Amy. Stay ahead of the guy.
So Matos getting past his teammate, but that's not to be unexpected. And now Lostowski trying to challenge Andretti.
Look at this, guys. I mean,
oh, it's awesome, isn't it?
They're on the wheel.
This is what we get to see every day. You're just doing it.
So to add some drama, his left rear on Adam Andretti's car, the fender is bent up, just eating away at that tire.
Oh boy.
How long does he have in here?
I hope he's careful, because you don't want what happened to me going up those S's.
Well, you lost the left rear tire.
I think it was maybe a suspension failure, or we don't know. We're gonna.
That was Matos getting past Andretti a few moments ago, but also past that incident, interestingly enough, as well. So Matos, that was the move on his teammate, but it was not unexpected. There's the bodywork flapping, and that's why Lostowski's got his tail up. Lostowski senses a chance to get a scalp here on Andretti as they go through the bus stop. He almost wants to use the bus stop to move that bodywork, maybe. But there's nothing he can really do.
There's a little smoke there, right there in the median, but not too bad, hopefully.
His engineer said it's only in deceleration.
I saw a local yellow there around the carousel in 5B. So
local yellow.
That's
there.
crazy.
And also, I don't know if it illustrates, does Matos overtaking his teammate?
Oh,
Doug Peterson.
Doug
Peterson, get behind that wall, buddy.
So it was Doug. Now hang on a minute.
I hope he's
Am I
behind
right
that
in
wall.
saying in that last replay, Matos passed Andretti while Doug Peterson was in the wall at a local yellow?
Yeah.
That's
I don't know if the yellow would come out yet.
Well, I think that is the point. I think that is the point. That's why we were shown the director right on the ball there, showing us that incident and showing us that it might be all in the family, so to speak, with three-dimensional. Tommy, you've got the best eye of all three of us. Let's take a look at it again.
See it there, that'd be going station number 7.
I didn't see a flag there.
Wait, there it is.
Oh,
there it
it is.
Yeah, but he'd already been passed.
What?
So
that's real close.
You know, I don't know why I set you up to look at a yellow flag.
Yeah.
You clearly can't see them.
Yeah, I'm an expert. I'm an expert at yellows. I'm an expert at yellows for sure.
No, that was a great job by the director, Dave, doing a really good job of showing us exactly what happened there.
So we're looking at 1, 2, and 3 right here in TA2.
Well, are we? Is Matos in trouble, I wonder?
He's got a good run.
So just 6 minutes to go. What a drama-filled race, and it's not over yet. Matos now putting the pressure on.
That's going to stay away from yellow. I just got word from race control. That's the call.
Well, they can't move that car, can
David Hoots. So I hope the driver's over the wall and in a safe position.
He is. We saw Doug out of the car and over the wall, so that's good.
Ken Quaid's doing really well.
Really well. Lostowski, pressure on. Andretti. There's Peterson.
Guy Smith got back around Amy Willman.
Yeah, that was on the cards. Now, can Lostowski do something in the last 6 minutes on Andretti? Both these drivers, both Andretti and Lostowski, have really been on great form of late. So too, may I add, has Tommy Dreesy. Been putting on great shows for us this season. I mentioned it to Boris yesterday, and Tommy, you must be really enjoying your racing at the moment.
You know, it's crazy. I'm faster than I've ever been, and you know, I've been doing it for a long time. So something's clicked, another level, you know. And I think it's me being more focused and calmer. Boy, look at Ernie. Come on, pass him, Ernie.
Well, they've really gapped Boris.
But Dyson's had a real. His team has done such a good job with reliability, and that's a testament to the driver and the team. Boris, I'm surprised. I just don't think something's amiss maybe a little bit with Boris. He didn't have that that attacking kind of car that he usually has.
Well, they had to replace the engine last night.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure which engine they got.
Yeah, I think they fixed that engine.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I think maybe they might be shifting a little bit early on the RPM or something. But
so are we coming up to the last lap here?
Not far off, either last lap or 2 to go. I don't know which, but we'll find out. Into the boot they come. Ernie Francis Jr. looking for a moral victory. It'll be last lap next time by, boys. So
I think Ernie's just respecting the fact that he's not on the lead lap. I think Ernie's just.
Well, let's try to find the TA2 leaders, because this is kind of inconsequential up here.
Yep.
Ernie's 2 laps back. Yep. I want to see what's going on with Connor Mosak, Tyler Casera, and Rafa Matos.
Well, VIR, if you're watching, we're coming your way with these boys.
Oh, there he is. That's Stevie Dix. And that, I think, is the secret to Chris Dyson's reliability and speed. That's your buddy, Greg's chief.
Greg Pickett's man right there. I think that's been the difference.
White flag waves then. Here we go. Last lap.
Ever since they went to Laguna Seca, I think is when they joined up.
Well, this has been a cracking race. Delighted to have Tommy Dreesy in the booth, though sadly, we really prefer he were out there racing like this as Ernie Francis Jr. tries to make his lap up, or 1 lap up at least, on Chris Dyson, and making it an honest fight. At least if Dyson's going to win this, he's going to know he's won it.
I think Ernie might have a run on him, but but
it's inconsequential. We need to be seeing the TA2 race.
That's true. That's true.
Directors, if you're listening, get us to the TA2 race.
Well, as Boris said, he's got ahead of Guy Smith, or at least Guy Smith has not got any closer to Boris than he had been. Meanwhile, here is your TA2 battle.
Nice.
Connor Mosak, Tyler Casera second, and the 88 of Rafa Matos right behind him, challenging now. We go on board with Rafa, trying to have a go at the man from Pennsylvania with all his friends and family here. But Matos doesn't care about that. He wants the position. And he's got to run. But Tyler Casera defends nicely. Into the bus stop they go for the last time. Mosak looking for his first win of the season. Matos looking for second. Tommy, how would you do it?
Right here on the inside, unless he covers it, right? That's a tough air. And, it's a full course yellow there.
Well, wait a minute.
I mean, it's a
Ernie's got
yellow.
past Dyson.
Yeah. Sure did.
Well, Dyson
Ernie
did the
takes
smart
the
thing,
lead.
but it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
I mean, I love Ernie and Dyson. Dyson won this race, so that doesn't matter.
Yep. So Ernie Francis Jr. is going to come across the line ahead of Chris Dyson.
Look at that, his
lap
front
down.
suspension broke.
Oh, no! And Dyson's going to take it anyway now, finally. So Dyson takes the checkered flag and the win. Ernie Francis Jr. follows his own, but a lap down.
TA2.
But TA2, who is going to take second place? We're about to find out.
Big shout out to Chris Dyson.
Here we go.
There you go.
Rafa Matos, he's got 2 corners left. Can he get Casera?
If he gets a nice run, he goes to the inside right here. He's going to try.
It's going to be close. Here he goes.
Oh, yeah.
Connor Mosak is about to win his first TA2 race.
That's great.
For Scott Lagacy, SLR Team Fields.
First win at Watkins
Connor
Glen.
Mosak. Congratulations. Nick Taylor Custom Fit Underwear Race for RP. First TA2 race. We knew it was coming. 4th in points. Tommy, that's got to feel good.
It's pretty good. First win at Watkins Glen. That's fantastic. Those guys work so hard, that team.
And well done also to Tyler Casera. Great result for him, holding off Matos all the way to the flag there.
Thanks you very much.
Thanks to Tommy Dreesy.
Thank you.
We're going to put Tommy on ice until Virginia. Go rest up, my man.
See you guys later.
We'll
Thank
see
you so
there.
much.
I want your radio back for next time. We'll get that sorted. Well done, my man. So Tommy leaves the booth, Ben leaves the booth, and I'm on my own, but I don't care. Obviously, we've got other results to give you as well. We've got XGT and SGT. Pretty sure that Eric Joyner in the Porsche won that. There he is. And Eric Joyner will take another victory in XGT. Simon Gregg taking that Mercedes out to try and challenge him. And Justin Oakes wins in SGT. Another win for the Oakes Meister in the Droneworks green and blue in the Corvette. So we've got our SGT winner, our XGT winner. Chris Dyson wins in TA. And we have a new boy winning in TA2. And I think it's going to be the first of many. What a place to win your first Trans Am race. 33 years Trans Am have been coming here. And like I said, 33 years ago, it was Jerry Titus that won in a Ford Mustang, and now it's Chris Dyson on his 20th year of racing with a double win here at Watkins Glen. Chris Dyson wins in TA. Boris Said is second. Great result to come from the back. Guy Smith is third. Amy Ruin fourth. Connor Mosak in fifth place. But more importantly, Connor Mosak wins TA2 ahead of Tyler Casera in the Silver Hair Racing team, the local man, holding off Rafa Matos, the championship leader, in third. And then Adam Andretti in eighth. Adrian Lostowski just behind him. Wow, catch your breath after that. So much going on. Simon Gregg not able to get on level terms in XGT in the Peter Gregg Foundation car, the Mercedes, this weekend. And Justin Oakes holds off Natalie Decker, who returns to SGT and takes second place ahead of Milton Grant. Well, a different Parc Ferme and Podium this weekend, or today, compared to yesterday, because Dyson was not a happy boy yesterday, but now he's all smiles, I'm sure. We'll find out in a moment. And you can see he's taken a little quiet prayer to himself after what was an excellent 100-mile race for Chris Dyson. The legacy of the Dysons in racing continues, and it doesn't get any better than that. If you want to know what pure motor racing is, you just saw it. Trans Am continues after 55 years of delivering world-class racing. And Chris Dyson with the Altwell sponsorship. Good time to get them on board this year, wasn't it? And likewise Plaid, who have been on the front of the car before now, but that one was special. Thumbs up and a wave, and Ben Sissel is down there, and as soon as the helmet comes off, I'm sure we'll hear from Chris.
Hey, Connor.
But he had to fight for that one for sure, and even fight with Ernie Francis Jr., who wasn't even in the race against him. But it was a race for pride for Ernie, and then his axle brakes or his front suspension brakes on the last corner. So I can see Ben Sissel is down there. Chris has got the helmet off. The hat is about to arrive. Let's head down to Ben
Chris
Sissel.
Dyson, what a victory today. That has got to feel good.
Oh, man, it feels so good, Ben. The Altwell CBD car was just magnificent up here today. I mean, we made some tweaks overnight, and it worked out fantastically for us today. The car was just fast every single lap. I could push, I could drive into a pace, and we definitely had our hand in it today the whole way, and I'm really proud. We got a 1-3 finish for the team, so that's terrific for the points. And to win here at Watkins Glen, 2 in a row after yesterday, this is very satisfying for us, absolutely.
Nice. So if you're paying attention, the rules switched. 2 in a row, back-to-back, in your home state, right? Poughkeepsie, New York. Here we are at Watkins Glen, New York. And you knew you weren't racing Ernie, right? Your team was telling you he's laps behind.
Yeah, it was a good push, though. You know, it kept me focused. I mean, you know, there's really nobody better, you know, as a benchmark. And you know, I was glad they got their car fixed, got it out there. They had a troubled weekend. They were fast. You know, it just wasn't their weekend. But, you know, fortune's shining on us so far this year, and we got a couple more to go. And I'm hopeful we can we're taking it one race at a time, but I'd like to try to get this thing done sooner rather than later.
Nice. I love it. Chris Dyson, 2 in a row here at Watkins Glen International. And then we go to Connor Mosak, TA2. Connor, this is your first TA2 win, is that correct?
That's correct.
How does it feel? Because, I mean, basically you started second place, you made a great pass, and then it was your race to lose the rest of the race.
Yeah, it feels amazing. My guys at Team SLR gave me a great car. I think we had the best car all weekend. It's really just a big relief off my shoulders, you know, to finally get this first win. I feel like, you know, there's more to come the rest of the year. So I'm just, our Nick Taylor Camaro here was really fast, and hopefully we can get it again at VIR.
And that was probably one of the most hard-fought wins, just full course caution. Then you had to come into a black flag, which is terrible for these cars. Then you had Tyler Casera at his home track right behind you, followed by Rafa Matos. Did you see the melee that happened behind you? Did you know how crazy the race was, or did you just try to stay focused?
Yeah, I saw the wreck behind me, and I saw it took out some good guys, or it looked like it did. So, you know, I knew we still had good guys behind us, so we had to hold them off, obviously, there at the end. It definitely wasn't an easy race, but I think, you know, as the laps went on, the car got better, and I think that helped us out. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Connor Mosak, race for RP Nick Taylor Custom Fit under our first TA2 win. Congratulations, buddy. Let's go to Justin Oakes. Justin Oakes, what a weekend in front of the family. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it. I mean, the fans being here is huge. Obviously, it makes everything better. But, yeah, my family being here and the team and again, I just keep repeating the same thing. This place is so spectacular, and the fans showing up the way they have and being as enthusiastic as they have makes it all worth it. So we had a great race. Natalie Decker put up a fight there at the end. The Porsches did really well. We made it through the carnage safely and kept it clean. So ready for the next race. I'm excited.
Nice. Next race is VIR for you?
I'm going to miss VIR for the race at Indy.
Okay, but you'll be at COTA?
Yeah, I'll be at COTA.
That's your home state, right?
COTA's our home track, so we're looking to finish the year strong there. Everybody, you know, we're a Texas-based team, so we're gonna come out in force and really celebrate. Hopefully, what ends up being a good result at COTA too.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then now we're gonna go to Eric Joyner. Eric Joyner in the Good Boy Bob Coffee Roasters Porsche right here. Eric Joyner. A little bit different than yesterday, man. We were talking about how concerned you were about the TA2 car's body rub, and then you put yourself right in the middle of them.
I just said, you know what, today's Sunday, let's bring it. You know, we love putting on a show for the crowd. It's amazing to just drive around and see all the people cheering and standing up, but I just said, okay, Sunday, time to send it.
So yesterday you were all alone in XGT, and then all of a sudden this AMG that looks perfectly prepared with a very famous driver behind the wheel comes in. How'd you feel?
I think for the first half of the race I kept saying, where's the Panzer? Where's the Panzer? And they were giving me times behind me, but it definitely had me concerned. Simon's a world-class driver, as you know, and I was worried.
Nice. I love it. Eric Joyner, first in XGT. Another fantastic race here at Watkins Glen. I'm going to send it back to you, Jonathan, so we can start celebrating some victories.
And they should celebrate. That was a great show, guys. Thank you so much for Trans Am putting on a really, really world-class display of racing here at the famous Glen. I think even Jerry Titus, who won the first race all those years ago, will be pleased with that. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, starting, of course, with our TA highlights. And from the get-go, all grouped together, and from the start it was close. TA2 also started to close, but Boris Said had to work all the way from the back. In came the 98 of Ernie Francis Jr. If it wasn't for bad luck, he wouldn't have any. Boris Said continued his drive. He got past TA2 with no problem, and then went in pursuit of his own class TA. Meanwhile, Tommy Dreesy balked at the start of the restart, allowing Guy Smith on the outside. But at the restart again, Boris Said not playing the same game. He got past Guy Smith and then fled in pursuit of Dyson. Drama behind in TA2 as Skeen, Merrill, Misha Goikerberg and almost Rafa Matos come together. But then Dyson continues to fly, and despite Ernie being in the way, it was all Dyson. Now, of course, TA2 had plenty of drama to talk of, and you couldn't really separate how good the racing was in each of the classes, but TA2 had plenty too. So forget TA in the distance there. Watch the start of TA2, because Adam Andretti was in the thick of it. Merrill side by side with Mike Skeen and going to the grass for a moment, but he gets past. Andretti waiting for his moment. Casera came into play. It didn't take long before he was right with Andretti. Meanwhile, Matos makes his move on Misha. Excuse me, I'm coming through to the Canadian. And the Canadian has to give way. Matos then gets overtaken by Skeen, but Skeen had more troubles to come. Look at this. A nasty incident. Skeen involved right at the get-go. And sadly, Merrill into the wall. So too Misha Goikerberg and Andretti. Matos passing him to take third place, but Casera holding on behind our first-time winner, Connor Mosack. And don't forget, we always have our quantum chill-out moment of the weekend, and it has to be, doesn't it? The most chilled man in Watkins Glen. Our quantum cooler moment this week, or today anyway, goes, of course, to the Dayglow yellow and blue of Boris Said. The mighty Boris, he may have retired, but it doesn't look like it, does it? He scythed his way through the field all the way to a podium finish, and were it not for the fact that he was ganged up on by the Dyson team, he may have gone even better. But Boris Said, driving that Challenger once again for Poncho Weaver, did a great job of scything his way to a podium. That's our chill-out moment for today. Well done, Boris.
So take a breath, take a break. We are going to do exactly the same from Watkins Glen, but don't go away because we've got more action to come from our SVRA coverage. The Governor's Cup with all Alfa Romeos coming up, the Dick Mooney Memorial Race, and several more races to come. We'll catch a breath, we'll catch a break. We'll see you on the other side.